Hello everyone, this is Copnet speaking. I hope you guys are well. This video is going to be about, well, just a few topics rolled into one. That one of them is going to be about realism, and the other one is going to be about, well, enemies and rivals. I'll get to that in further detail as I go along through this video. Oops. Sorry about that. Well, first of all, when it comes to realism, what I mean by realism is that in our weight loss journeys, what are our goals? I mean, what do we hope to accomplish in the end? Many people, women in particular, desire or wish to attain perfect bodies or model-like bodies. They hope to at least, or they hope to appear like actresses. But often at times we do, when we get to the end of our goal, we do look very good, wonderful, but we don't look exactly what we wish to look. And the same thing goes for men too. They burn their fat, they build up muscle, more muscle than women usually do, unless if they're in some sort of bodybuilding competition. But the men still don't have that Stallone or Schwarzenegger sort of appearance. And both the men and the women end up being disappointed. I guess in the respect of realism, we shouldn't, although this is my personal opinion and I'm sure there's going to be people who disagree with me, it is my opinion that we should aim for things that we can attain rather than things that we personally wish to attain, which seem rather far. Although it is human nature to dream about something or to desire something, it is human nature. But in order to prevent ourselves from being disappointed, and in order to meet the realities, we must have a realistic goal in mind. Other than saying, I want to lose all this weight so I can fit into a size 2 jeans, or I can look good in a bikini, or for men, I want to pump up and be able to lift a car if I wanted to. Just say, oh, I want to be able to walk up a flight of stairs without getting out of breath. I want to be able to park further in a parking lot and walk all the way up to the entrance without getting tired. I want to be able to play with my kids and participate in other physical assertion activities. I even want to perform sexual activities better with my partner, etc., etc. Adi, no monkey business. So anyhow, these type of things. Realism. Although we all have that wish to although we do have that wish to look idealistic, the way the media wants us to look, but we have to realize that it's just not the case. We should never try to compare ourselves with models, even plus-size models, because they're not 100%. They're not 100% what they seem to appear, as you've seen on screens. Models, any sort of model, are airbrushed, photo-touched. They're made to look more slender than they are. They're sometimes made to look more fair than they actually are, or more darker than they actually are, more taller than they actually are, more younger than they actually are, more muscular than they actually are. It goes on and on. Late ja, beta. Good boy. So, and there it goes. It's always best. It is best to not try and compare ourselves with celebrities, for we know what celebrities are. Their whole life, their whole job is just a big game on stage. Their whole job is just looking in the mirror. Their whole purpose is just to appear beautiful, and their whole purpose is just to win favors and win acceptance from the people watching them. An actor works his whole life to get noticed, to be known by all. But the irony is the same actor has to wear dark sunglasses in order to be not detected when he goes out in the street. which seems kind of like an irony. You work your whole life to be known, but at the same time, you don't want to be recognized either. Although that probably has nothing to do with this, but still, it's something to think about. Food for thought. I think instead of saying that, oh, I want to look hot in a bikini, or I want to look like, let me think, Gwyneth Paltrow or Sandra Bullock or Anne Hathaway or whatever, or guys, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Stallone, Brad Pitt, Johnny Depp, whatever. Instead of saying that, oh, I'd like to look like these guys, it's best to say, I want to look better. I want to be myself, but a much more advanced version of myself, a much more healthy version of myself, a much more fit and toned version of myself. I feel that would be the best choice. Now, let's get to the enemies and rivals part of this video. When I talk about enemies and rivals, what is an enemy? Basically someone who holds a grudge against you. Basically someone who has the worst interest for you. Basically someone who wants to sabotage all your plans, and basically doesn't want to see the best happen to you, but the worst. So, you basically understand what I'm trying to say. But in this case, this particular enemy whom I'm speaking about is a person whom I've known for quite a while. Actually, I think I've known that person very well. My whole life, actually. I mean, this one bitch I know, can't avoid her no matter how hard I try. Everywhere I go, her fucking face happens to be there. Everywhere I go. Sometimes I wish she'd drop dead, but if she did, it would have a bad effect on me too. For that person is me. Yes, I'm talking about myself. I feel that at times we can be our own worst enemy. I sincerely feel that way. I mean, we have a lot of enemies and rivals to deal with in our life. People are going to talk bad about us and ill about us and rude about us until the day we die. That's something you just can't avoid no matter where you go. But there's one thing that you can never avoid. That voice inside your head. The actions you do. You cannot avoid it. You can try to minimize it, but ultimately you just can't avoid it. It's always going to be there no matter what you do. No matter where you go or what you do, it will always find you. Sometimes, when we in the sense of diet and exercise, we sabotage our own efforts by saying, oh, I don't feel like exercising today. I feel too weak. Oh, just this one cookie wouldn't hurt. Oh, my bikini says I need to go to the gym, but my sweatpants says, nah, you're good. On and on it goes. You understand what I'm trying to say? That enemy who I'm talking about. The enemy is within. Come to think of it, I think there was a Asian story about this. I don't know if it's Japanese, Chinese, Korean, Vietnamese, etc. I don't know what part of Asia it's from, but I know it is Asian. It is a story about a man, a warrior who set out in a quest to find the greatest dragon, the most powerful, the most scary dragon. He searched years and years throughout his life, went through his entire youth and middle age to find that dragon. But he was not successful. And then as he lay dying on his deathbed, he was terribly disappointed, for he knew that despite all his efforts, he couldn't find the dragon, but he now just realized where the dragon or who the dragon was. The dragon was him. The most evil and vile dragon was him. The evilness that exists inside one's heart. No, not necessarily I'm saying that we are evil or cruel or that we would hurt somebody. but our own misdeeds and misactions and carelessness can get us into trouble. And this doesn't necessarily have to do with weight loss by itself. It could be a number of reasons. And we all know what that is. This is basically all I really wanted to say. I just wanted to say that when it comes to our weight loss regimes or muscle building regimes, we must go a little bit easier on ourselves in the sense of expectations. We shouldn't have to want to look like Schwarzenegger. We shouldn't have to want to look like Gwyneth Paltrow or whatever the fuck her name is. Although they say, I've seen a magazine where they said that she's the most beautiful woman in the world. No. She's not. I'm sorry. She ain't. She is not. She's a nice looking woman, healthy, skinny looking woman, attractive, but she ain't the most beautiful looking woman in the world. No, that's an honest truth. I'm not saying this because I feel envy or jealousy, but it's stating a fact. She's not the most beautiful woman in the world. It's not. How would you know who the most beautiful man or woman in the world is? Have you seen all the people? Have you put every single woman in this world? Have you put them in the line and checked their faces one by one by one by one? How would you know who the most beautiful woman in the world is if you hadn't actually looked around? Jesus Christ, what is the matter with you? Well, not with you people, but with the media. I swear to God, I think the media is run by a bunch of high school kids. But you understand what I'm trying to say. And also the other thing I'm trying to say is that we must learn to deal with the inner demon that is within us. We must learn. Otherwise, that demon will surely consume us. In the words of Emily Bronte, I'm not quoting this right, but I'm just going to say her words anyway. Quiet, son. It was dreadful to think the world so hollow and insincere, but to look inside my own mind and to see the same corruption there. Peace.